Come on in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. Good to be here with you. Tell me how you're feeling. I want to know what's going on. You can have your videos on if you want. You can write in the chat box how you're doing, how you're feeling, who you're mad at, what's going on. Maybe tonight you want to argue with God on why the human race is the way it is. I don't know. Feel free to write where you're from. Come on in. Just giving everyone a moment to get here. Feeling a bit sad. News is making me sad. Yeah. Anybody else want to share how they're feeling about the state of the world? Feel free to share. Hi, Texas. Hello. It's good to be back with everybody. I thought I would do one more of these. We did a world peace meditation about a month ago when the war in Ukraine started. And here we are doing our second one. And tonight, today, wherever you are, we're going to be focusing more on really healing ourselves, and through healing ourselves, healing the world. There's this great quote from Carl Jung. One of his students asked him, is the apocalypse inevitable? And he said, not if enough people do their inner work. And I agree with him. And I hope that's what we're doing here together. Not just avoiding an apocalypse, but hopefully also living beautiful lives and meaningful lives and bringing healing to the world. Hi, Utah. Hello, Massachusetts. Feeling powerless and hopeful about the world. Yeah. Someone said, I avoid the news. Yeah. Someone said, yeah, news uses manipulation. Well, you know, the stronger we get in our own truth, the harder it becomes for others to manipulate us, whether it's one-on-one or through media, right? The more you know the truth inside yourself, the easier it becomes to see and know the truth in others, no matter what somebody tells you. So instead of being in resistance to the world, I'm going to hide in my house. I'm not going to participate in any way. I'm just going to avoid. Maybe there's some resistance there today that you need to work through so that instead of avoiding, you can show up in the best way you think you should and make a difference on this planet. So my parents are from it was Russia, the USSR, Belarus now, when they left. And they grew up in their time. You don't trust the government. It's not something you do. You don't give the government money. They're just going to take it. You don't trust people. There's a little bit of a coldness I remember experiencing with the Russian culture in my childhood. Russian was my first language. And it's a hard thing to shake. But the world is made up of people. And when people change, the world changes. And I have seen a lot of change on this planet since I've been alive. I've lived on a number of continents. I've seen other things that don't change at all. And life can definitely be a melancholy mix of hope and powerlessness, as someone said. But things do change. As they say, the arc of justice is slow, but eventually bends, right? No complaints this moment. Good. Someone said hiding. Yeah. We got some hiders in here. I only participate in Zoom calls, and the rest of the time I'm in my bathtub. Waiting for the world to change. I think that's a John Mayer song. It's a good one too. I like that song. So some of you weren't here yet when I shared that Carl Jung quote where somebody asked him, is the apocalypse inevitable? And he said, not enough, if enough people do their inner work. And again, that is what we are doing here, hopefully. And tonight's topic, let's work on healing ourselves and let that reflect out into the world. And in particular, what I want us to focus on is what is it in the world, kind of the macro world, that is bothering you, that upsets you, that makes you feel depressed, sad, stuck, lost, hopeless, whatever it is. Somebody said manipulation. What is it that bothers you that you seem or feel stuck on the inside that you can't seem to get past? So it's different for everybody. Somebody might be angry at politicians, somebody at climate change, somebody at people who steal, somebody at violence against women or against minorities or gender. There's something that all of us, we have, it kind of breaks our heart when we see it. So feel free to share in the chat box what it is for you. I think it'll help give other people in the group here ideas. And for those who aren't recording, I'll read some of them because they won't see the chat, so they can get a sense of what's bothering you. Actually, all good stand-up comedy comes from the premise of what's bothering you, right? What's bothering me? If you ever watch Jerry Seinfeld or any of the greats, it's always, why is it like this? Not having a significant relationship. So maybe some loneliness. Somebody said complainers. Hi, Quebec. Somebody said greed. Someone said the education system, kids in conflict, man's inhumanity towards other men. Yes, towards other men. Housing availability, loneliness, isolation, willful ignorance, colleagues in conflict. Oh, we got some good conflict energies this evening, which makes sense. Resistance to change, 1 step forward, 10 steps back. Okay, any others? Throw them at me. I'll take all the negativity you have to offer tonight. Bring it on. Bigotry, my fear of big change, mean people. Yeah, a lot of you are saying resistance to change, inconsiderate family. Throw it out there, flush it out. If you're someone who never shares in the chat box, just share. Low vibrating people, rude people, politicians. Oh, not politicians. Inconsiderate family for sure. Liars. Woo! Lack of empathy. Oh, Lord, welcome to the human race. By the way, I have a group of aliens here with me. They've just come to Earth. They're interning here and they want to know what's up. So they're just watching the chat. Selfish people, cancer, another selfish people. Yeah. And they're like, wow, this is an intense planet. What's going on? Disrespect, frustration, COVID. Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, I think we got a good couple bags of doo-doo here. What's the deal with humans? I don't know, Megan. We'll find out. That would be the great start of a gas prices. Somebody said hatred. That would be the great start of a stand-up comedy skit, wouldn't it? Hey, what's the deal with gas prices? What's the deal with humans? Why do they all smell like cabbage? There is all of that. And there's also a lot of love on this planet, right? I mean, look at the beautiful group of people that's live here tonight. All these people coming to meditate and shift the energy. I was on a podcast recently with my friend Trisha. What's her podcast called? The Charmed Life. And it just came out, I think, a couple days ago. And she asked me in the beginning, do you think the world is shifting? Do you think there's like a great awakening happening or a spiritual shift? And my answer to her, and this is what I see anyway, you stick with what you see, but that Earth is very much a plurality. So there are bubbles where there's a great spiritual shift happening and awakening. People are really growing and changing. There are pockets where it feels like it's still the 1400s. There are places that feel like they're 30 years in the future. There are pockets of hatred. There's pockets of love. I think it's all of the above. It's a very pluralistic kind of planet. We have a lot of cultures. We have a lot of people in different phases of growth. So for me, is there a great shift and awakening happening on the planet? To some extent, for sure. And then other people maybe are digging in deeper, are getting worse, are getting angrier, are getting more violent. And I think if we can come to terms with that plurality, that's just, there's this diversity of consciousness on earth, and that's the way it is, and probably the way it's going to be for a while. If we can accept that and continue to move forward and shift ourselves, I think we can live with a relatively kind of grounded peacefulness inside of ourselves. And, there may be infinite planets with infinite conflicts, right? Let's just imagine that together for a moment, that there are infinite other worlds, infinite civilizations at different levels of growth, some before us, earlier phases, some much further along than us. Maybe they have no more war, no famine, no greed, right? All peaceful. And then there's us. And so there may be an infinite spectrum of infinite worlds. And then what do you do with that? Are you going to fight the infinite forever until there's pure justice across the galaxy? Are you an Avenger? That's one way to move forward. And then the other way is finding your own inner peace and enlightenment, and then letting that shift the world. Great spiritual teacher Ramana Maharshi, who lived in the 20th century, somebody asked him a question about this topic, and he said the best gift you can give the world is your own self-realization. And for tonight's purposes, part of that realization is our own healing. So some of you said anger, greed, hatred, all of these things. Maybe you don't have hatred in you, but perhaps you have resistance to people who have hatred. Maybe you're not racist, but maybe you have so much anger and resistance to people who are racist. Instead of having understanding, instead of having inner peace, they're triggering you. So what do we do about that? And that's the meditation we're going to work on tonight. As we heal ourselves, perhaps that will ripple out into the world and shift some energy, right? Cool. Any questions? Are we good? Let's heal the planet together by healing ourselves first. I'm just going to take another shot of whiskey here. That's the way to go, right? I just gave up. Earth's full of a bunch of stupid SOBs. It's not worth the effort. I'm going to drink myself until I forget everything. People do that as well, and they distract themselves. Yeah. So no distraction, no avoidance, no overriding, no pretending. There's nothing dark on this planet. And as I always tell all my students, the most effective way to meditate, when you close your eyes, it doesn't matter how straight your back is, it's how honest can you be with yourself? How honest can you be? And then how accepting can you be of what you find when you're honest? Okay? Because if you're not honest, those doors into your heart, into your unconscious, they won't open. They'll stay locked. And then you won't get to the energy that's underneath the resistance and the pain. And then there won't be a shift. So the biometric, passcode to unlock the doors into your unconscious, into these parts of yourself that need healing, is honesty and acceptance. Okay, let's put honesty in one hand, acceptance in the other, and then let's give ourselves a prayer that we're willing to take this journey, and that we're going to bring those two energies, those two attitudes together, and see what happens. That's it. All right. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and close your eyes, get comfortable. A little more whiskey, sorry. I'm more of an apple juice kind of drinker. Apple juice on the rocks, please. I did that once. I went to a bar with my cousin and some friends, and everyone got a drink. And I was like, I'll have an apple juice on the rocks. And the bartender just looked at me like, huh, okay. All right, eyes closed. Take a deep breath, relax. I want meditating to be enjoyable for you. There's no need to come here to spend time with me and feel like you're doing more work after a day of work or forcing yourself, holding yourself hostage in stillness. Enjoy this process. It's beautiful to sit still with your eyes closed and start to shift energy. It's pretty cool. It's miraculous that you can consciously shift your energy and you don't have to stay in some negative state that somebody kind of triggered you into, or the world, or the media, or even a war. And that's one of the reasons we're here, because there is war happening at the moment in Europe, and it's triggered a lot of us. And it's created all sorts of reactions: anger, resentment, frustration, sadness. And that's okay. You're a human being. If you didn't have those reactions to war, I would be more worried. So let yourself have your human weather for a moment. Let yourself have your feelings, your experience without any judgment. Just let it all kind of move. If you've ever taken a dance class, which I avoid, but secretly do in my living room, the key is to let your body move, right? And in meditation, you can let your energy and emotion move. So be flexible with your energy. Let your shoulders drop. Rest your awareness in your body and behind your eyes. I want you to notice that you're sitting on planet Earth. Everybody taking this class as of right now is on planet Earth. Maybe one day they'll be on other planets. I want you to notice you're on planet Earth, your physical body, and your energetic body is also on Earth. And this is where you were born and what you're made of. And the Earth is upset that there's a war as well. The Earth is upset when part of it is in conflict on the surface, when its children are fighting. Take a moment, I want you to acknowledge the Earth and acknowledge the spirit of the Earth. The Earth has its own kind of awareness. And you are connected to that. There's an energetic tether. I want you to notice an energetic tether from the base of your spine down into the earth, like almost like a seatbelt or a cord. You need the food of the earth to be alive. You need the oxygen to breathe. You're 100% organic, earth made. Everybody is, all of us on the planet. Even the people fighting a war, all the wars around the earth. They're all children of the earth fighting each other, all on the same sphere. All fighting over the same resources that belong to all of us. They were a gift. It's all a gift. And we're fighting over Christmas presents. Earth gave us these gifts and we're fighting over them. So just acknowledge the planet, acknowledge the consciousness of the earth and your connection to it. And even allow yourself to feel some of the energy from the earth kind of coming up through your feet, just filling in your body. Just let that energy of the earth fill you up. First and foremost, you are a human being on the earth. Yes, there are lines drawn. We call them nations. They only exist in the minds of humans. But what's real is that you are a child of the earth. And lines drawn around nations, around tribes of people, what they do is they separate us and then they create conflict. Conflict over beliefs, ideologies, over resources, land. And so there's some of that happening on the planet right now, not just in Europe, in a lot of places. It's been happening for thousands of years with very few breaks. And for the purpose of this meditation, there's something about the conflict right now that bothers you. Something about this conflict that creates some kind of sadness, some anger, some resistance, something that it triggers inside you. And it may not have to do with the war in Europe. It could actually be anything. And this is just kind of the entry point. That's how we all got here. I want you to notice what it is, just one thing that really triggers you, something about humanity. And notice on the inside of you, what is it that really bothers you? What's at the core of it? It may or may not actually have to do with whatever the external scenario is. You may get upset when people are violent towards each other, when they steal from each other, when they're greedy, when they're angry, when there's inequality, injustice. But what is it in you that gets triggered that you're having a hard time reconciling, that you're having a hard time healing? Let yourself really get a sense of what it is. Let yourself feel it. Look at it for a moment. And then what I like you to do is kind of place it in a safe energetic bubble so it doesn't leak out. And then move it a bit away from you, kind of in front of you in your mind's eye. So, whatever this anger, this frustration is, this despondency, resistance, whatever it is, put it out in front of you in a bubble and just ask yourself, what is it that this energy that I'm stuck on is trying to show me, is trying to teach me? And sit with it for a moment. Be patient. In meditation, there's no rush. You may have a very difficult question that feels almost unanswerable. Sit with it and let it open and unfold. Maybe if there's energy you notice that's stuck, maybe it starts to drain off of you, even drain off of the bubble. If there's confusion or anger, doubt, lack of clarity, let it drain off. Maybe other people's beliefs. Never trust anyone. The human race will always be violent. Things will never change. Might as well just worry about yourself. Take what you can while you can. Any of those low level consciousness beliefs that are born out of fear. Maybe some of them peel away. Allow yourself to get good at seeing your own answers and shifting the energy. And things may come off that don't seem like they're relevant, but there they are. Maybe there's a wave of guilt, a layer of shame, of sadness. All of a sudden, something just comes up and out. Let it. At the beginning of this meditation, I asked you to come into it with the energy of honesty and the energy of acceptance. Let's revisit that. And we're going to get a little bit more advanced here. So there's this collective pain that's been pressing on all of us in different ways. It makes us angry, nervous, stressed, anxious. There's this collective human pain. And sometimes it like pushes up against our energy field, against our consciousness. We may not be aware of it, but we may feel like we're spinning, or we feel ungrounded, or we feel off. Maybe it makes us angry for no reason. If you notice any of that energy, I want you to recognize that you have the power to have your own space. You do not have to become the pain of the rest of humanity. There is no inevitable apocalypse. These are just all thoughts inside of the minds of humans. And you do not have to become a receptacle for them and absorb them. I want you to notice that tether that we started with, connecting you into the earth. It's bigger, it's wider, it's stronger than when you started meditating. Maybe it's as big as a huge redwood tree, and nothing is knocking you over. No energy from the media, no collective pain. I want you to show the rest of humanity right now as a spiritual being. Show the rest of humanity what it looks like when somebody faces their own pain and does not succumb to the collective pain. What do you look like when you show up like that? Can you be a leader of healing on this planet? Maybe it has to be you first. And I want to add an even more advanced tool to this. So, one of the ways we get sucked into the pain of the world is that the world convinces us of how serious everything is, how urgent everything is, how dire it is, how close we are to the apocalypse. It seduces us with that intensity, right? If you watch the news any night in the last 50 years, you would feel this intense anxiety that the whole world is buckling. And yet here we are. So have some neutrality, even some lightheartedness. When the world throws a big chunk of pain at you, see if you can lightly smile. Inside, you know that as humans, we create all of our own pain. Don't let the world seduce you into their negativity. Be who you really are. If you're a happy, joyful person, if you're funny, if you're creative, if you're loving, I want you to own that right now. Own your real energy like the energy we're born to be and to share with the world. We don't need to do any virtue signaling that we're always going to be the most pious, humble, peaceful person on earth. Show up the way you were born to show up. If you're the entertainer of your family, own it. If you're the healer, own it. If you're the lover, own it. If you're the artist, own it. And if you're the warrior, own it. If your job is to protect and defend, own it. So, in the face of whatever was causing you resistance, in the face of this collective human pain, the best way to heal yourself and to shift the planet is to own who you are unapologetically and show up. Make sure you're breathing. Put a light smile on your face. Whatever you've been looking at that's been teaching you, acknowledge it, thank it. These issues aren't solved like an equation intellectually. We look at something, we get understanding, and then our consciousness just shifts. It's like we raise the level up. We have that aha expansion that goes in every direction. Allow your understanding, allow this shift of consciousness and this healing to expand out of your body and encompass the entire planet. Share your gift, your awakening, your enlightenment, your healing with the whole earth. Telepathically show every human being on earth what's possible. Let everybody on earth get a healing from your healing. Make sure you're breathing. All the human beings on earth that sit on top of this planet that they were all born from, that all share the same resources. We all share the same destiny. Well, we're all here together. Let everybody take part in your healing. And you get to decide, are you going to become a victim of the negativity of others, or are you going to shift your energy and share that transformation with them? Because if they can share their negativity, that means you can share your enlightenment. It goes both ways. Great work. Send every human being on earth a nice, beautiful golden rose. Send billions of golden roses out to every human on earth. Send them all out to everyone in conflict in Ukraine, on both sides of the conflict. Any other area of the earth that you feel needs help and attention. Any people. From your spirit to their spirit. Recognize that humans are a network of beings. We are all related. We're just one family that have existed for the blink of an eye on this beautiful planet. And we collectively get to decide our fate. Great work. When you're ready, you can let go of whatever energy you've been working on, looking at. Take a nice big deep breath. Nice easy sigh out, relax. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and stretch. Whoa. We did it. Great job, everyone. I'm going to give you a round of applause. I think that was the applause button. I can't hear it. If you have a question, feel free to ask. Before I forget, quick announcement, group coaching is this Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific. If you're not part of it, you can check it out. Come to the group. Great job, everyone. I just want to mention a couple of things. I spoke to my team in Ukraine. I have a team that works for meditation school in Ukraine. And I spoke to them. I get emails from them every day. They send an email update of everything happening in the country every day. It's great to hear from them. So far, so safe. Yeah, always praying for them, holding them in a bubble of gold, making sure that they're safe. Good job, everyone. Thank you so much for all being here with me. I love you. I hope that one day that humans get beyond war and bigotry and all the things. Today is not that day, but you can get beyond it. And maybe there will be some kind of domino effect. So I think that's the best place we could start. Great to be here with you all. Thank you so much. I want to see everyone's faces before we go. I'll unmute you if you want to say bye. And I'll see you next time. Let's do more of these. Let's get together again. We should have coffee or something. You want to say bye, you can unmute, say bye. Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
David.
everyone. You're welcome. Good to see
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Great to see all of you. Love you all.
Love you.
See you soon.
Looking forward to next time.
Yay.
Love you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.